Hello, good morning. Oh, thanks. All right, yeah, my name is Will, not Roger. Those of you who've been here for several years, our former CEO has probably done the last 14 of these kickoffs. It's my show now, you're mine. Apologies. But I am going to start off with a pretty steamy photo um, that Okay, there's some people that looked up, and this is what we have for the next 10 minutes or so. I'm sorry, this is my sense of humor, but I took this photo on my first EIS, which is about 10 years ago. I've been at MessageGears 10 years this past November, and I was their first marketing hire. It was a startup, they had built this email platform, this ESP, that worked differently than any other ESP, and they hired me and a head of sales to take us to market and get out in the space. And I didn't know what to expect, but I'm like, hey, I joined in November. MediaPost has an email conference next month. Let's just go to that. Let's sponsor that. So we did. I didn't know what to expect. And I got out here and I was like, holy shit, this is nice. So all your first time folks, I mean, the reaction was genuine for me too. It was like some of you, I had a hot tub on the balcony in my room, and I'm coming to these sessions, but it's not overwhelming. My brain's not like fried by the end of the day. I'm getting to meet people. I'm leaving inspired, not tired. And I was so giddy about the whole thing. The second day, I had to do some work back in the room, and I did that, and I'm like, I'm getting in that hot tub. So I got in that hot tub, and I was excited, and I was like, I'm going to call my wife. Now, we have 3 kids. The oldest at the time was 8, so they're all pretty young. And you know how you can tell the kind of mood somebody's in by the way they answer the phone? So I got this like exasperated hello when I'm in the hot tub. Get this, I can barely hear her because one of our children's crying in the background, a dog is barking, and there's some ridiculous kids TV show with goofy music that's full blast. And I'm not the brightest bulb, never claimed to be, but I did not tell her what I was doing at that time. I saved that for later, but I did hang up the phone after we talked for a few minutes, and I snapped this picture, and I told her about it, and she laughed and made me bring her another year. But I say this just because hats off to MediaPost. I know Jason mentioned this last night, but these events are really wonderful because you get a lot out of them. You make a lot of new connections. They're valuable for all attendees. And you really do learn things without, you go back home feeling like, oh, I picked up some new things here. I didn't just sit in a room and get, some Marriott ballroom in Cleveland. Shout out to Cleveland, I'm sorry. This is better though. All right, so time for a cliche statement. Consumers demand great experiences. We're going to hear this probably 25 times today from various people, but we heard it several times 10 years ago as well. Those experiences evolve over time, though, and that's really what I want to focus on, right? It's not the micro moments that we give people. It is the full experience that changes the way we behave as consumers over time and really alters what we know is possible. Some examples in the real world include things like the Home Depot, right? They have an app now. They've had for 5 or 6 years. They continuously update this app. As somebody that's not tremendously handy, I love it because I can get in there, there's how-to videos, there's guides, I can see what the parts and tools are called. I can see if a part is in stock at my local store. I can go ahead and go pick it up. When I get to the store, it tells me what direction in the store to go in and what shelf it's on. That's altering behavior, right? That's something that 20 years ago didn't exist. And so a great experience from Home Depot 20 years ago isn't the same as a great experience from Home Depot today. A similar thing is, does anybody get rage the way I do when you want to make a restaurant reservation and they don't have like OpenTable or Resi to do it? Like, it's awful. What do I have to call somebody and talk? Like, the introvert in me is not doing this. Like, I'm not talking to somebody on the phone. I want the power in the palm of my hand. 20 years ago, in the dark ages, I could call and make a reservation, but not today. Similarly, going on road trips, down to Florida to see family, the one thing all of our kids would eat would be Chick-fil-A. It was just the one thing everybody could agree on. And the most stressful thing for an introvert like me was being in that drive-through line, getting closer to the box, and everybody's still trying to figure out their order. And they're trying to tell me, oh, Dad, we want this, we want that. And I'm like, They sell 3 things here. It's chicken, chicken, and chicken. Like, we've been here a million times. What are we doing? Now, we see a Chick-fil-A coming up 10 miles down the road. We can pull the app out. We can place the order. We can just hit the drive-thru, say I'm picking up the order for Will. It's magical. I love it. And then finally, Best Buy. Back in the late 1900s, I worked at Best Buy in high school. And one of the things they pounded into us over and over time was customer service, provide great customer service. The reason they did this is because there's nothing you can really buy at Best Buy product-wise that you can't buy anything else. So they have to give you an elevated experience. They have to have experts that are not commissioned salespeople. They have to have people that can fix your stuff. They have to have a great digital experience that can drive you places and that can beat out competition like Amazon. Now, all of these examples, illustrate a global change within these organizations, a global initiative, a global focus on providing great customer experiences, right? It's not a single department or a single team trying to put this together. They've decided this is what we're going to do at the global level. I often think about marketers like yourselves in these situations, executing on these ideas and these campaigns, and how fun that would be, right? That's why I got into marketing a little over 20 years ago. I wondered if that's why people still get into marketing. So I asked my best friend, ChatGPT, why do people still get into marketing? And this holds true, right? They want to be creative. You want to be innovative. You want to have a wide reach and have an impact. You want to make data-driven decisions and have a customer-centric approach. This is the fun stuff. You want to be like the Don Draper, going in a room, coming up with a great idea, acting like a boss, and those ideas are amazing, and you walk out, and everybody loves it. The reality for most of us, though, is a little different. Merry-go-round looks fun. It's colorful. We're exhausted by the end of the day. Enterprise marketing, this is a real-life campaign that a lot of you probably relate to, but to get a campaign out the door today, you've got to have the idea of the campaign. Great. Now I'm going to go to my email dev. We're going to get this thing built. I'm going to make sure it's coded. We're going to make sure it renders properly in all the different clients. We are going to make sure all the dynamic content blocks are there. Then we're also going to go to our data and IT team to get the right audience put together for this thing. We're going to work through all the parameters, make sure everything's there. We're going to take these 2 things. Now we're going to go to our marketing ops team. They're going to load it up and ship it out to our ESP or our marketing cloud. And 6 weeks later, this campaign gets out the door. It's a real-world example. Again, probably relevant to a lot of you. I don't remember what I was doing 6 weeks ago, but it feels like a long time ago. It feels like an eternity for a campaign to get out the door. Your jobs are hard. And as a tech vendor, and all the other tech vendors in here, our job is to make your life easier, not harder. One of the ways that things are getting easier for us is the evolution of a single source of truth. Now, we've talked about Customer 360 for years and years and years, this mythical thing that everybody wants. But the single source of truth, maybe 20 years ago, was located in a server room on some racks. Corey from IT had the key to that room. It was dark, it was cold, and he wasn't letting you in there. You can't even look in there. Somehow you would raise the temperature and break something. But if you wanted an email address or a list or something, he could get it for you out of there. As things evolved, we started using our ESPs and our marketing clouds as that marketing central source of truth, right? Everything we needed to be as relevant and personalized as we could put in there and store in there, and it was good enough. But over the last 5 to 10 years, more organizations have centralized their data to a global centralized database like a Snowflake or a BigQuery or a Databricks or a Redshift. I guarantee if you don't know that you're on one of these, you probably are, right? There's a huge initiative over the last 5 years especially to put all of our customer data into this performant cloud-based data warehouse and have it work for the entire business, not just for the marketing clouds. All right, so I get it. You're like, Will, whatever, this is Email Insider Summit. What the hell are you talking about? I didn't come to listen to this. To which I say, you did come to listen to this, first of all. We bought you breakfast. But second of all, again, our job as a tech vendor is to make your life easier. But the tools that you're using, most of them don't work the way you need them to in this paradigm. You see, on the left side, we've centralized all of our data into Snowflake or BigQuery. But in order to do campaigns with our ESPs, we've got to ship that data out to our ESP or Marketing Cloud. And then we can do our email and our mobile campaigns. And then as people are interacting and engaging and unsubscribing and all that, converting, we've got to get that analytic data back into our central source of truth. We're inherently making a copy of a subset of our data to accomplish this, which is expensive, it's inefficient, and it's incomplete. You're not sending all of your Snowflake data to your Marketing Cloud. It's impossible, especially at your scale. So what are we going to do instead? We're going to buy a CDP, y'all. This is going to save us. This is going to make it work for us, right? The promises of a customer data platform were great. What we're going to do is we're going to leave that customer 360 over here, but you have all these marketing tools, all these point solutions. We're going to be able to ingest all the data from them. You can understand your customer behavior, automate processes, target the right audiences, save time and money. Spoiler alert, at scale, these things completely break down. We've found that out over the last few years. All these promises don't come to light. And again, it makes sense because we've wedged a new tool in between our single source of truth and our end users. And while a lot of you in this room are using a CDP, show of hands, people using a CDP or have invested in a CDP? Yeah, a lot of people. So they're popular, but they're not popular, if you know what I mean. So only 17% of marketers report high utilization of a CDP. Only 10% of CDP owners feel the product meets all their needs. And just 1% believe their current CDP answers their future requirements. If you're a CDP, like, holy crap, this is a bad time for me. But again, it makes sense. This is the stack that most of you probably have today. And again, now you're making a copy of data. You're getting further away from what you know about your customer in order to deliver great experiences for them. And even our big sponsors today, our friends at Salesforce, have admitted this, right? Traditional sync methods introduce risks, costs, and headaches, to which we were like, yeah, we've been saying this. That 10 years ago when I came here, that was the message we came with. This causes this calamity. This 6-week process of getting a campaign out the door is caused by you having to move data between a whole bunch of different point solutions. And in that 6 weeks, Don Draper's spirit dies. He's broken. He's a broken man. 6 weeks is where creativity and innovation dies. So how do we work on this? So those brands I talked about earlier, the MessageGears customers, spoiler alert, of course, but they figured it out. They figured out how to not only make their campaigns better, but to go from ideation to go live in a week or less. And you're saying, okay, Carnival Barker Will up here, bullshit. It's not bullshit. Like, let's take this stack here. We've got, again, your CDP in the middle. You've got your Marketing Cloud or your ESP off to the side. MessageGears is a data activation and engagement platform. Our core differentiator is that we attach to your single source of truth. So we are exposing your marketing teams to the data you have live from the source, not using a copy of it. You're not having to ship any of it to us. So if you're a marketer, you can now build audiences, create segments, and activate campaigns on any channel using that live customer data from the source of truth. And if you want to activate to your existing ESP, you can do that. Now, this is more efficient than the existing stack. Still not the utopia, right? Like, because you're still making a copy of data. You're doing your segmentation and your cross-channel activation, and then you're shipping out your data still to your new segments out to your Marketing Cloud or your ESP for campaigns and offers and personalization and ultimately analytics. The real utopia is obviously to use everything MessageGears has to offer. We are an end-to-end data activation and engagement platform that is fully warehouse native and is designed to ultimately replace both your CDP and your ESP or Marketing Cloud, doing it directly off of your existing source of truth. So if you're using Snowflake, all of this is built right on top of that. If you're using Databricks, we live right within that environment. You now have the power of everything you know about your customers, everything your entire org knows about your customers at your fingertips in one end-to-end platform where you can unify, activate, personalize, and message across channels all within one UI. If you take nothing else away from me blabbing up here, its direct data access enables today's marketers to be great. You're more flexible, it eliminates unnecessary fees to move and store data, the data stays secure behind your firewall, and you have real-time access to all of your data. Courtney Campbell from the Home Depot, she can test, experiment, and design highly personalized campaigns without all the roadblocks and workarounds she was used to. They get campaigns out the door 24 times faster than they used to, and those campaigns are better because they're using fresher data, more complete data, 15% higher engagement rates, and they save 60% on martech costs. OpenTable, they connect directly to their Snowflake instance. They have an 80% faster campaign production time, a 15% lift in lifetime value of customers, and a 50% savings in martech costs because they've eliminated redundant spending on tools that don't work for them and are more efficient in the back end. So if you're a marketer and you're looking to utilize your data warehouse for segmentation, activation, and ultimately engagement across channels, we should talk. It's fast and efficient, it's flexible and secure, and you can be empowered to deliver the great experiences that change the game that people remember over time, even those complex use cases. Our mission at MessageGears is to help great brands do remarkable marketing. So if anything I've said has resonated with you, and if not, like what the hell, have you not been paying attention? But if anything I've said resonates with you, let's talk. My name is Will. I have colleagues back here, Janine and Yusuf. Y'all want to stand up real quick? Or wave, or yeah, whatever you want. That's great. Wave and stand up, thanks. Look, we want to get you to a more future-proof state with your martech stack and ultimately move you on a path to data maturity. So let's talk. We'd love to interact with any of you. You can also scan this QR code to sign up for a demo. We give you a free gift. Thanks for putting up with me. Appreciate it. Let's have a great time. Happy to be back.
All right.